Hi everyone and welcome to Smart Alex Coaching. My name is June and I create maths videos for enjoyment and to teach anyone who wants to learn maths. In my last video, I looked at the concept of multiplying fractions and what it means to multiply two fractions together, and we went through this concept through the use of bar diagrams. What I want to do in this video is to focus more on the algorithm of multiplying fractions, especially proper and improper fractions, and we're going to do that through working through a few worked examples. So let's get started. Multiplying fractions is probably the simplest operation to do with fractions. To multiply two fractions together, all we need to do is to multiply the top two numbers, the numerators together, and the bottom two numbers, the denominators together. So for 2/3 times 5/7, this would become 2 times 5 over 3 times 7, which would simplify to 10 over 21. For 3/5 times 7/8, we do the same. We multiply the top two numbers and the bottom two numbers together. This would give us 3 times 7 over 5 times 8, which simplifies to 21 over 40. And in both of these questions, we can no longer simplify the answers further because these are in simplest form. Let's now look at the next two questions. The first one, I've got 2/7 times 4/10. So we do the same. We multiply the top two numbers together and the bottom two numbers together. This is going to give us 2 times 4 over 7 times 10, which is equal to 8 over 70. Now, 8 over 70 is not in simplest form. And in order to simplify it, what we do is we simply divide the top and the bottom by a common factor, which is 2. 2 is a common factor for 8 and 70, and this is going to give us the final answer of 4 over 35. Same thing for 8/12 times 5/9. We multiply the top, we multiply the bottom. This is going to give us 8 times 5 over 12 times 9, which is equivalent to 40 over 108. And to simplify this fraction, we divide by a common factor, which is 4, and this is going to give us 10 on the top and 27 on the bottom. What's different about these two examples compared to the first one is that after we carry out the algorithm of multiplying the two fractions together, we end up having to simplify the answer by dividing the top and the bottom by a common factor. Instead of simplifying our answers at the end, what we can do is to simplify our fractions prior to multiplying out. In order to simplify the fractions, we divide the top and the bottom number by a common factor. It doesn't have to be diagonally. It can also be on the same fraction as long as one is on top and one is on the bottom. So for the first example, 2/7 times 4/10. What I can do is I can simplify the 2 and the 10. I divide 2 by 2 and 10 by 2 also, since 2 is a common factor to both of these two numbers. 2 divided by 2 is going to give us 1. 10 divided by 2 is going to give us 5. So what we have left is 1 times 4 on the top and 7 times 5 on the bottom. This is 1 times 4 over 7 times 5, which is equal to 4 over 35, which is the same answer as using the method of simplifying at the end. So for 8/12 times 5/9, this time I can see that the 8 and the 12 can cancel out. We can divide 8 by 4, and I can also divide 12 by 4 as well. This is going to cancel to 2 on the top. 12 divided by 4 is 3 on the bottom, and then we multiply out the 2 and the 5 on top, and the 3 and the 9 on the bottom. This will give us 2 times 5 over 3 times 9, which is 10 over 27. Again, the same answer as what we had on the previous slide. This process also applies to improper fractions. Here I've got 6/12 times 5 over 2, and we can see that 5 over 2 is an improper fraction. What we're going to do is we're going to simplify 6 on 12 first. We do that simply by dividing the top by 6 and the bottom by 6 as well. 6 divided by 6 is 1, 12 divided by 6 is 2. We then multiply out what is left. We're going to have 1 times 5 on the top over 2 times 2 on the bottom. And this is going to give us the answer of 5 over 4, which is an improper fraction. And if you remember, this can be simplified to 1 1/4. So for the next example, 9/12 times 11 over 5. 11 over 5 is an improper fraction. We do the same. we can simplify the 9 over 12 by dividing the top and the bottom by the common factor of 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. We then multiply out the top and the bottom numbers. 3 times 11 over 4 times 5, which will give us 33 over 20, which will simplify to 13 over 20. The simplifying process can also be carried out more than once. Let's look at 4 9 times 3 8. What we see is that the 4 and the 8 has got a common factor of 4. So I'm going to simplify the two numbers by dividing the top and the bottom by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Furthermore, 3 over 9 also has got a common factor of 3. So I can divide 3 by 3 and 9 also by 3. This would simplify to 1 over 3, and then we multiply what's left together. 1 times 1 over 3 times 2. And our final answer is simply just 1 on 6. 312 times 4 8, same thing. I can see that the 4 over 8 has got a common factor of 4, so we can divide top and bottom by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And for 312, it's got a common factor of 3. So we divide top and bottom by 3. That will become 1 over 4. We then multiply what is left. 1 times 1 on the top and 4 times 2 on the bottom. And our final answer is simply 1/8. This process of simplifying before multiplying is very beneficial, especially when you're working with large numbers. For example, 6 over 18 times 27 over 36. If you didn't have a calculator, you would have to go through the process of doing long multiplication, which can get quite tedious. So what we can do with 6 over 18, we can see that it has got a common factor of 6. So we're going to simplify it by dividing top and bottom by 6. This is going to give us 1 over 3. For 27 over 36, it's got a common factor of 9. So we divide top and bottom by 9. That's going to give us 3 on top and 4 on the bottom. Now, it looks like we're finished, but in fact, we can simplify further. The 3 and the 3 can be cancelled out. So I can divide both of them by 3, giving us 1. And what we then have to get our final answer is simply just 1 times 1 over 1 times 4, which is equal to a quarter. So for 18 over 48 times 30 over 72, we can repeat this process, doing it in multiple steps. Say 30 over 72, what I can see is that 6 goes into both of them. So we're going to divide the top by 6. That's going to give us 5. 72 divided by 6 is going to give us 12. And if you look at 18 over 48, well, again, I can divide top and bottom by 6 as well. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 48 divided by 6 is 8. But let's go further. Can we do any further simplification? The 3 and the 12 will allow us to do that. I can cancel out the 3 and the 12. I divide 3 by 3. That's going to give us 1. 12 divided by 3. That's going to give us 4. And what we're going to have left is simply 1 times 5 over 8 times 4. Or just 5 over 32. And you can see that this helped to save us a lot of time. Thank you so much everyone for watching the video up to this point. I hope that you did like it and most importantly learned something from it. Any suggestions or feedback on how we can improve, please leave your comments below. We do try to release videos weekly across all topics. So in order to not miss out, make sure you click the subscribe button below and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye for now.